All right, guys, welcome to Take Your Base. I'm your host, Flav Horiana, brought to you by Four Corner Sports. All right, guys, so it has been official. We are officially into the lockout for the baseball season. The lockout officially began today. Owners and the players' union weren't able to come to an agreement before the ending of the CBA to continue going forward. So now the lockout is in full effect. So players, managers, ownership, GMs, whatever, anybody that works for the team can't contact anybody on the 40-man roster. Okay. From what I am able to understand, what's it called? MLB is able to contact minor leaguers, but they're not allowed to contact anybody that's in the 40-man roster. So whoever's not on the 40-man roster for whatever team, whether your favorite team is the Mets, the Yankees, the Red Sox, Dodgers, whatever, if they're on that 40-man roster, there should be no communication whatsoever. Whether it's phone call, text, email, in person, having any type of gatherings, that's forbidden. All right, that's part of the lockout. You're not supposed to have any type of communication whatsoever. But I wanted to talk about a signing right before the lockout ended up happening. Yesterday, give or take late afternoon, we were able to get confirmation by this player himself. Yes, Marcus Stroman has signed with the Chicago Cubs. Yes, and it was a very big head scratcher in my opinion because I did not see that coming. He was talking about earlier in the week that he says that he wasn't going to really sign with the Mets, that they felt like they were going to go into a different direction. I don't know if that's true or not. All right, there was they haven't released anything regarding if the Mets were fully in on Marcus Stroman or not at that time when Stroman ended up releasing those tweets. But Stroman did sign a 3-year deal worth $71 million to play for the Chicago Cubs. He announced it himself on Twitter. He also said that was actually one of the few ballparks that he hasn't pitched in. So he will be going to the Windy City. He'll be going to Wrigleyville to pitch for the Chicago Cubs, which I think is great. It kind of sucks if you're a Met fan because you wanted to have him as the third starter in that rotation behind DeGrom and Scherzer. But to see Stroman go to the Cubs was a little bit of a head scratcher. And the thing was like, was he chasing the money or he just wanted to be the top dog of a rotation? And it clearly seems like it was a combination of both. It seemed like the Mets could have honestly matched that. The Mets don't have an issue matching money, but maybe they wanted to go into a different direction. Maybe the shenanigans and the stuff that the amount of tweeting and the social media stuff that Marcus Stroman does, which, look, I'm not against that whatsoever. I understand everybody is different. But maybe the Mets wanted to go a little bit different towards that. They went away with Noah Syndergaard. They really didn't want to re-sign him. They gave him the qualifying offer, and Noah Syndergaard used the qualifying offer for leverage with the Angels so he could sign over there for 1 year. I think, what was it, like $21 million, $23 million? Now Stroman goes to the Windy City. So what's next for Stroman? Well, Stroman's most likely going to be your number one or number two. He's in his one-two punch combo is going to be him and Kyle Hendricks. Now, Kyle Hendricks is a phenomenal pitcher. He doesn't strike you out. Doesn't have he's not going to throw 97. This guy is a ground ball pitcher, who can who can pitch very effectively. Same thing with Stroman. Stroman is not a strikeout pitcher himself as well. He's a ground ball pitcher. We were able to see that in Citi Field. Whenever he was pitching, we would have like Luis Guillorme playing third base because we always knew that he was going to utilize that sinker and he would drive it in on left-hand batters and then pull it away from right-hand batters. So Stroman's an excellent pitcher. He's an excellent ground ball pitcher. He's even a better fielder in my opinion. I mean, he's one of the best fielding pitchers that I've seen, and I'm surprised that he wasn't in consideration for a Gold Glove. Now, Stroman, what are the expectations in Chicago? I would say Chicago doesn't really have much expectations going into this year. All right, you still have the Cardinals, you still have the Brewers, who are always competing. Okay, I think the Cubs, by them trading away Javi Baez last year, as well as Chris Bryant, Anthony Rizzo, they wanted to do a full rebuild. And they were able to get Marcus Stroman because they were able to eliminate some of those contracts over there. And then the year before that, in that offseason, they were also able to trade away Yu Darvish. So they had plenty of money to spend. They were able to get a decent amount of value for Stroman for that contract. Do I think that they ended up overpaying? I do think that, because for the AAV, right, 71. Even Stroman's getting paid a little bit over $23.5 million a year. Now, I fully am all for people getting their money, but the one thing I really do like about the contract is that Stroman is on a 3-year deal. I don't think Stroman will be great if that was a long-term contract, but since he's on a 3-year deal, okay, he's in his early 30s, he can re-up by the time the contract is officially finished, and then he can actually go for more money. But Stroman in Wrigley, with Kyle Hendricks as his number 2, or he might be the number 2. I know they ended up signing Clint Frazier. I kind of like the direction where the Cubs are going. Cubs have a little bit of an idea of where they need to go. It looks like they're starting to attack the pitching. They're starting to focus on what they need to work on, and they were able to get that big pitcher in the free agency market by getting Marcus Stroman on a 3-year, $71 million contract. Now with the Mets ended up losing Stroman. They weren't able to give him a qualifying offer because they gave him a qualifying offer the year before. What's next for Stroman? Man. What's next for the Mets? I don't know, because now we're officially in this lockout, and it really depends now what's gonna happen. When this lockout is over, what new rules are going to be implemented, what stuff that the Players Union and MLB were able to agree upon, and then also there's going to be plenty of players that are out of a contract, that are in free agency, that are trying to scramble in for as many teams as possible. So this may have worked in the Mets' best interest to just sit back. Yes, they were able to get Max Scherzer, they were able to get Mark Hanna, Starling Marte, Eduardo Escobar. They were able to get those players. Now, since we're officially in this lockout, like I said, Steve Cohen, Billy Epler, they're not able to contact any players whatsoever, not even negotiate with these players, okay? It's against the CBAs. It's against the rules regarding the lockout. I don't know who the Mets would have to target. I know Alex Cobb ended up signing. Robbie Ray's off the table. Kevin Gausman went to Toronto. There's a litany of pitchers that are still out there that they may not have that name value. They may not be as good as those pitchers that I ended up announcing. But there is something out there in free agency. Or if the Mets want to ignore free agency and go for some trades, then there is that possibility as well. All right, because I'm pretty sure you can actually get yourself a couple of pitchers from markets where they want to stretch salary, and they want to be able to the Mets are able to give up something, maybe not their prospects, maybe not Ronnie Mauricio, Brett Beatty, Alvarez, the whole bunch, but they'll be able to give up something. But yes, the Mets have to now look for that third starter, okay, because Carrasco, he's a big question mark, and you can't really depend on Lucchesi, McGill, and Tyler Walker, because they're back-end starters. They're not middle of the rotation type of starters. But yeah, guys, that's something that I wanted to talk about. Yes, Marcus Stroman got his money. He got the bag. 3 years, $71 million. He's going to Chicago. He's going to go pitch in front of the Wrigley faithful. And he's most likely going to be the head honcho in the rotation, if not right behind Kyle Hendricks. But that's phenomenal stuff for him. And then the big question mark is, who did the Mets go to replace a player in like Marcus Stroman? Until then, guys, I am Flav Oriana. Thank you for tuning in for Take Your Base. Please hit that like and subscribe button, guys, and I'll see you guys next time. So then, peace, guys, and have a good one.